Hello, I'm Doug Cullen, Manager of Career Services at Pinkerton Academy, host of a new series on DTV called Bridges to Success. We thank you for being here. Today we're going to be talking with Lynne Lonergan, Director of Adult Education at Pinkerton Academy, and Kristy Butler, Director of School Counseling. Throughout the next weeks and months, we'll be talking with various other leaders to discuss how our students are transitioning into the workforce, into post-secondary education, and using various employers and agencies to help those students transition more successfully. And today we'd like to start off our series having a conversation with two of the leadership of our school that really discusses what's happening, what has happened over the last year, and what changes are underway that help our students transition into the workforce as well as into college as best as they can. Today with me, I have Lynne Lonergan, Director of the Adult Education Center, and Kristy Butler, Director of School Counseling. So we're going to start off with you, Kristy. What are some of the accomplishments from your department's perspective that you think are worth noting, and what are you looking forward to this year?
Right. Well, we're continually trying to help students explore and select the correct post-secondary track that aligns with their interests and abilities. And so we're constantly looking at ways to build the school counseling program to help students learn more about themselves and their abilities. So this year with our freshmen, we've redesigned our 5-year plan, which helps them set a trajectory of courses that align with their interests, choosing classes not only as a freshman, but what they might like to take as a sophomore, junior, and senior. So we sort of map out what that looks like, and then we add to it and change it as we go. So if a student decides that they now, because of a course that they took, are interested in something different, then we can change it. So it's a fluid document.
So why 5 years?
5 years would include their first year out of high school.
Okay.
So we want to set them up to meet the requirements of any program that they're looking at beyond high school.
Lynne, talk to me a little bit about some of the accomplishments that you've had over the last year, and what are you looking forward to?
Sure. So I'm here representing our adult education program. It's called Pinkerton Academy Continuing Education, and a big focus for us, not just at Pinkerton, but throughout the adult education world in New Hampshire, is really about those post-secondary plans. So we can, assist you, we can get you across the stage, you'll have your diploma, but what's the next step? So a big piece of what we do is really to help the students develop and plan for what's going to be next, whether it's the military, college, some kind of a training program, or going right into the workforce. And one of the big ways we assist students with this is our careers course, and that is all about planning, again, for that post-secondary education or right into the workforce.
Okay.
So in this class, they are developing resumes, they are writing cover letters, they're doing mock interviews, they're meeting with local business leaders. We have a whole panel of business leaders that were Pinkerton graduates that now own their own businesses. Some of the ones who come to us are Benson's, Clam Haven, the Grind Rail Trail, Tires 2, and Tuckaway Tavern. And they really come and talk to our students about, if you walked through my door and you wanted to have a job with us, here's what I'd be looking for. So those soft skills, shaking your hands when you come through the door, looking me in the eye, smiling, dressing appropriately, all of those type of skills. Our students also visit the area community colleges. We take field trips to the colleges. As well, the college representatives come right to our school and offer on-the-spot acceptance. They work with CU for Reality to do some financial planning. So again, all about what do I need to do now for that next step.
So talk to me a little bit, Kristy, about on-site, what Lynne was just talking about, on-site acceptance. What is that? How does that impact students that are not part of the adult education program? And what's the advantage of that?
We have on-site acceptance days and associations with other colleges that come in. We have about 150 college reps and program representatives that
All
meet
from
with
New
our
England or
students.
from all over?
From all over, but
Okay.
primarily it would be New England that visit us. And they come in and speak with our students, let them know what they're looking for in their programs. So we have recruiters that come during the day also and meet with our students along with the representatives. And we just try and connect them with people that know about
Yeah.
making their dreams come true and their plans reality.
So when you say college, are you saying community colleges, or is it universities, or is it a combination? Give me some description as far as what you mean by that.
Well, national research shows that 65% of jobs by the year 2025, some type of post-secondary education. So to prepare for that, we've actually instituted a new program at Pinkerton where all sophomores have the opportunity to take the PSAT for free.
Okay.
And that allows them to prepare not only for SATs, but also gives them feedback about where their strengths are, where their weaknesses might be. And then as juniors, they're also taking the SATs as a state standardized testing, but it allows students that otherwise would not be able to afford to take the SATs. It gives them an opportunity to take that test as well. The PSAT has been proven to boost their SAT scores, so it's kind of a twofold. We're trying to help those students that are taking SATs for college entrance to get a better score by taking the PSATs, but it also gives us feedback on
Yep.
how they do.
Okay.
And then those scores are available for students to share with college representatives and matching for the best fit for them. But as we look at college for students, we understand that one of the challenges ahead is really affording college and finding ways to help students afford to go to those schools. And one of the biggest ways is to keep students in state. And that's by using the New England colleges, New Hampshire primarily, also taking advantage of the dual enrollment program, which is the community college, which then feeds into the four-year college. So a student goes to the community college for 2 years and keeps the cost of school down, takes their core courses, and then is automatically accepted into either UNH Durham, Manchester, Keene, or Plymouth. So it really cuts the cost in half for the freshman and sophomore year.
How does that relate to a lot of the state work that's happening around the 65 by 25 initiative? Talk to me a little bit about what that means, or does that relate to what you're talking about?
Well, it means that we're...
And what is the 65 by 25?
65 by 25. 65% of the careers will require some type of post-secondary education. So we want to get students by the year 2025 to have that kind of training and set them up to be able to go into those careers and maximize their income potential.
And it's really 65% of the working age people as well, from that age group going into and making sure that we have that. Do you think this is going to be a big part of what 65-25 needs? Is this sort of relationship between community colleges, high schools, and universities?
Absolutely, to be necessary that they,
Okay.
have some sort of training beyond high school. What we're trying to do is help students access college in every way that we can. So for example, we have 2 field trips that we offer for students that are first generation students that may otherwise not think college is an option for them.
Okay.
So we have a bus, we provide the bus and we go off to UNH, we go to Southern New Hampshire University. There's also a relationship that we have with Richard Haynes at UNH. He just came to speak to all of our sophomores on the PSAT day. He's the admissions director and in charge of diversity at UNH. And so he's a fabulous resource, very inspiring, and he came and spoke with our students to, again, help college feel like a reality for students that otherwise think that they wouldn't have the opportunity to go to school.
So Lynne, you're working with a lot of students, though, that are struggling in some way, and they end up on your doorstep. What are some of the challenges you're having then in continuing that program, or maybe it's some of the successes,
Right.
ironically. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
Actually, our program has grown over the past few years. I think that, word is getting out there that it's a great opportunity for students who, for many reasons, like you said, end up on my doorstep. It could be economic, and students who are literally working during the day to assist their families, and night school works better for them. It could be students who never graduated and they're coming back now to get either their high school diploma or the high school equivalency. So it's just a great opportunity. It's a very different setting than the typical day, and as we know, not every student fits that mold. You know, the size of the school alone for some students can be difficult. So it's, you know, we're in the media center. We have a great little setup. There's food available, where classes are for 3 hours, so students aren't having to be in the classroom but then really write their essay on their own. So for some students that, you know, they find that academics are a bit more challenging, there is the teacher as well as an assistant in the classroom.
So it's a bit more of an independent, or a combination of independence as well as classroom instruction and traditional? It's very differentiated. So, you know, we'll have some of our students who are taking maybe our English 12 writing, but they know our English 12 lit teacher because they had them in the past and they're comfortable. They can go over and ask them questions if they're more comfortable doing that. Some of our students will sit on a couch with a Chromebook, and that is the best way for them to focus and write an essay or work on a project. For other students, they want to be right in the classroom with the teacher. So we can be very flexible. Our students, some are with us 1 night a week, some are with us almost 4 nights a week. So let's kind of go on that theme a little bit. I know colleges are also trying to sunset remedial courses because that can be very costly for students as they go in and need to take some remedial courses. They may not be entirely ready. And those courses are then being integrated into degree programs. How are we, and I'll throw it to either one of you, how are we preparing students to be able to address those situations where I kind of need to take a remedial course, but it may not be available in the traditional fashion? Are we feeling that students are more prepared to be able to take that? Or
I think, you know, for most of our students, if they, you know, have not graduated yet and they're in my program with me, they're going to be ready for the AccuPlacer test when they go off to college. I think for students maybe who have been out of school for a long time and then decide they want to go off to college, they may find that their skills are not as polished as they would have been because it's been a number of years. So for those students, you know, there is an opportunity to go back to an adult ed program, whether it's at Pinkerton if you live in our area or anywhere throughout the state, to kind of beef up those English and math skills to get ready to take those tests. Another thing we find are students who maybe graduated and then decide, I want the medical fields now, but never took chemistry or biology in high school, which is required to get into that particular program, or took it 20 years ago, so the college is no longer accepting those courses. So there's the opportunity for students like that too to come back to the high school setting as an adult and take those courses again to get ready.
Starting next year, every student will be taking 4 years of math instead of 3.
Oh, I was going to ask about that. Yeah.
Yes. So it's a state requirement, but in order to entice students to take a math class, and they do need to, we've now built some course selection around classes that are math intensive.
So I need to take math for 4 years is what you're saying?
Correct. Starting next year, which will really help students. We do encourage students to do that, but a lot of times the requirement has been 3 years, so they don't choose to take that 4th year of math. That's really important for students that are going into certain fields. Engineering, for example, the health sciences, those are very math intensive. So, and then for students that may be going into other fields but still need a good math course or math basis, we have things like Mythbusters. So that's kind of a fun twist on math and using it in a non-traditional way. We also have a practical math to teach students about, you know, things that they're going to need in real life when they're on their own. So more like an independent living type thing. And
so what qualifies a course to be in the math realm, if you will, or qualifies to be that 4th year of math? If it's not a math course, but it's engineering, health science, something like that, what qualifies that?
Well, our Dean of Instruction would be able to answer that. It has to have a certain percentage of math as the competencies and requirements of that course. So it really it goes through a rigorous process before it can be labeled a math intensive course. but a lot of our science classes, or even some CTE classes, I
Yep.
understand, we're going to be looking at those to get some math or science credit,
That's great.
depending on what they are. So for example, you take Intro to Engineering, you need a lot of math.
Right.
So we want to look at getting that to be an acceptable math. And that plays to their interests
And
and
plays to their
abilities.
strengths in many cases, too.
Correct.
Right.
And that way they're taking something they're interested in, not feeling like it's just a math class.
Yep.
That's one way that we can get students to strengthen their skills, is to find a class that's interesting.
Yep.
If they like writing, or if they need practice with writing and skills with writing, maybe they take creative writing, journalism, or be in the yearbook, and things that don't feel quite as painful to
Okay,
take.
so we've asked Lynne a little bit about some of the challenges she's had. What are some of the challenges you're seeing more campus-wide as far as your department goes?
Well, I think two things come to mind. One would be communication. It's very difficult now. We're not using newspapers. We don't
sure.
send home as many paper
Responses in some way or
responses,
the other.
correct. So it really is about electronic, and we don't know who's receiving them and who isn't. And students are really attached to their phones, and parents, adults, myself, we all rely on email. And we encourage you to check the website, because that is one way that we can get information out. We have lots of information, things going on almost every day on our calendar, whether it's a college rep or a career representative coming in to see our students. We want to start a program called Lunch and Learn next year, and we're piloting that this May, where we're having a police officer come in with his K-9 and talk
Oh, that's
about
neat.
how to get into the criminal justice field. What was his journey like? What does he see would be helpful? What kind of classes would he take if he could do it all over again? We want to continue that next year. We're trying it in May. See if students will give up lunch period, if we feed them. And that way they have the opportunity to meet people that actually do the jobs that they're interested in and hear from them.
Okay.
And so that's one thing. We want people to know that those things are going on. We make announcements, but parents like to know. And so we really want to get the word out. So we need to know that you're checking our website, checking your email, staying current
Yep.
with that.
Okay.
And then I would say we want involvement, and if you have a skill to share, be in touch. If you want to be involved. We also would like a lot of students that we encourage community college for, as I said, being able to finance college. That's a huge concern. As we know, some students recently have racked up all kinds of student loans, debts that they can't afford when they get out of school, and it's scary for parents to sign on to
Sure
that,
is.
for students too. So some students come and they really sort of look down on the community college, and community college is not just a consolation prize. It
Right.
offers a fantastic education, and so students that otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to go to four-year college at $50,000 a year could go for $11,000 to $14,000 at a community college for the full 2 years. So those are viable options, and so we want to have people support that.
Lynne, talk to me a little bit about admission into PACE. I know that there's rolling admission. Is that some of the new and exciting stuff that's happening this year? Is that new this year, or has that always been the case? And also talk a little bit about what is new and exciting that's coming this year.
Yeah, so our rolling admission actually is really quite new. So in the past, we were tied to the same semesters, first semester and second semester, just like day school. Recently, a few of our teachers have developed courses where really could be open for rolling admission. So at any point in time, instead of having to wait till the beginning of the semester, students could apply for it and join our classes. Most of our students at night at Pinkerton, at least, are already our own students who are Pinkerton Day students, who are either hearing about us through their friends, through their teachers, through their counselors, and applying to switch over to our program. Some of our students are still getting their standard day diploma, but they're making up maybe just one course with us. Other students are switching over to the adult diploma.
Okay.
One of the biggest challenges for me is not our students who are under 21 that are already involved in Pinkerton. It's reaching out to and finding those 21-plus-year-old students who, again, either never graduated or need to come back either to take a course to beef up their skills or take that chemistry or biology course. So that's one of the challenges. It would be growing our true adult population, as we call the 21-plus-year-old population.
And you see that as some of the exciting stuff that's happening, though, in the future, I'm assuming. Are there any other
Absolutely.
certifications or anything like that that you actually
Yeah,
offer?
so this year as well, we are partnering with ABC New Hampshire, Vermont to offer OSHA 10 construction safety certification right at Pinkerton. And we've done it ourselves in the past, but this time it's in collaboration with that company.
And that's Association of Builders and Contractors? Is that the same ABC?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And so all the registrations and everything will happen through them, but it's actually one of our full-time day teachers at Pinkerton is also a certified instructor, so he will be teaching the class. So it'll be in our space, which would, we'd love to see more of that happening with businesses.
Yeah.
So Pinkerton, for the most part, shuts down during the evening. There are some groups that come in, but we have these fantastic spaces available, and we would love to work more with other businesses, to say what kind of courses maybe would you like to have offered for,
Right.
your employees,
Right,
and would there be some way we could collaborate and do that?
Kristy, talk to me a little bit about your experiences, if any, with Job Corps. I mean, we've spent, as a state, really banner facility that's in the Manchester area. Talk to me about what you see. Is that part of the excitement that you see as developing new programs, or tell me a little bit more about what your experiences have been as well as new stuff happening?
Right. It's really great to work as a partner with Job Corps. They have been fantastic, and it's an outstanding facility that offers students that either haven't completed high school, feel like they can't complete high school, they can go to Job Corps and finish their education. But also, last night, for example, we had a Job Corps representative come and talk with a group of students about after graduation. So it's not just about who didn't finish high school. And sometimes I think Job Corps can get a bad rap because some people see it as for students that aren't finishing high school, but it's actually a resource for students up until they're 24 years old. So we're connecting students that aren't sure of what they want to do. It's really that career pathway model where we can encourage a student to access Job Corps to go get, let's say, they want to be a nurse and they aren't sure that they have the money to do that or the scores for tests and to get into those very selective nursing programs. They can go to Job Corps. They have a CNA program, for example. Students live there or commute there, and they can get their CNA and be working in the field, making money, so that they could then pay for other training down the line. Job Corps also has an agreement with some of the area colleges, so they will allow students to remain at their facility and pay for their housing at the facility, or they will also connect them and they pay their tuition.
That's great.
To go on to like Manchester Community College or St. Joseph's Hospital is where they're working. And so a student can get their CNA first, be working in the nursing field, make a little more money than they would if they only had a high school diploma, try out the field before they invest all that money in education, in a career that's, going to require 4 years in the end. So then they can go to the St. Joe's program under Job Corps umbrella, get a 2-year degree in that, and then move on if they want to. If not, there are certainly jobs for nurses that have a 2-year degree as well.
That's great. Well, thank you both for being here today. I think this has been a great exchange. You've had some great ideas, and we certainly look forward to hearing what's coming up in the coming year.
Great.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
being here.
Thank you.